Acting Sergeant Dwayne Williams from the Edmonton Police Service joining me on this Friday morning. Sergeant, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here. You're aboard the Segway, which has been, I'm not going to call it a controversial tool added to the police toolbox, but let's be honest, some people started to snicker when you guys stepped on board these things.
Oh, most definitely. It didn't help that Paul Blart had his movie come out there. So
Mall Cop.
Mall Cop.
That's
definitely
right.
Put a little dent in our street presence, but at the end of the day, it's still a versatile tool.
Well, and you talk about street presence, and that's exactly the reasoning behind these things. They cost the police department about $7,000 a piece. Are they worth it?
You know what? The visibility and the street presence, like I said, that it gives us has been incredible. We've been able to be spotted at a lot of events to help keep people from getting out of line, out of the norm of behavior. At the same time, people have been looking for us for help, can easily see us in a crowd and flag us down. We can hop right over.
Okay, so obviously we've seen police officers using various methods of transportation. Typically it's been foot patrol or bicycles that have allowed you to interact with people directly, but there's also been the horse. And the horse has been typically what police have used to intimidate people, as I understand it, or at least have a more significant presence. Where would these fall when it comes to those three different?
You know, we've had situations where we've responded to, say, a person who's been aggressive will show up and they'll see us, 7 feet, 6'8" in height, and they really calm down once they realize that we seem to have a higher presence than if we were looking eye to eye at the same level as them.
You probably don't get a lot of people snickering at you anyway, officer. Your biceps are like the size of my quads. But so where will people see these around the city on regular duty?
On a regular basis, they'll mostly see us at festivals, large events where we need to be above the crowd to maintain any sort of presence, like I mentioned, K-Days, Heritage Days, festivals in Churchill Square.
Okay.
And they'll also see us in the River Valley and just regular patrol.
Okay, you know what? Every once in a while, me and my buddies sit around and we make stupid claims. And one of the claims that I've made is that I think that I could outrun an Edmonton police officer on a Segway. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to humor me and see if I could outrun you.
For you, I will do that.
Has anybody ever actually given you a pursuit while you've been on your Segway?
You know, I think people have thought about it, but at the end of the day, they'll be out of breath before the end of a block, and we'll still be ready to go.
How long? These are battery operated?
Yeah.
How long are you out for?
They're usually good to go for about 6 hours.
Oh, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we do this here, Phil? I'll just get you to step out of the way for one quick second. What I'm going to do is, why don't we assume that you're trying to collar me, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, and it's on. And I'm going to try to get to the end of the block, and you see if you can catch me.
Sounds good. I like that challenge.
All right, so are we ready?
Sounds
All
good.
right, so 1, 2, 3. Now what happens what if I go like this and I just... Like, is it possible to outrun a Segway?
You know what? Chances are I would take off just like a bicycle or a car.
Okay.
But I would not be tired.
Okay.
So by the time you start getting out of breath, worst case scenario, just like a bicycle, I would hop off, continue the chase. If you hop the fence or start going upstairs, I could just abandon it. It needs the control to keep going.
Now, every once in a while, you guys are you're dealing with hooligans every once in a while, let's be honest. And I mean, I'm not going to say people are taking cop cars all the time, but if you abandon your bike, there's a chance someone would love to have a police mountain bike. What about these things? What stops that from happening?
They need the control that we have on our wrist, the wrist
Oh, you're
watch.
wearing a control.
Yeah. So the minute this goes about 5 meters away from the Segway, it disables the Segway.
So basically what happens, you're humoring me here. But if you're actually wanting to take me down and bring me in and book me, you're going to go after it, you're going to get off this thing and you're going to take me down.
Just like a bicycle. If I was on a bike, you took off, I'd probably jump off, chase you through a mall or chase you through wherever, but then my bike is left unprotected on the street. Whereas with the Segway, I can arm it, or I could just leave it, and you're not going to be able to pick it up and go anywhere with it.
Oh, man, you're really changing the way that I've seen these things. I didn't totally understand them before. You think moving forward, you'd like to see more of these in active duty with the police?
They like anything we have, it's a versatile tool. The bikes, the cars, the Segways, it all adds to our utility belt, you could say, in terms of how we can deal with crime and disorder. So most definitely, I'd really like to see more of these.
Well, we like seeing a more amplified police presence down here downtown. Acting Sergeant Dwayne Williams, thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. Have yourself a great weekend. There you have it. Let us know what you think about these police Segways. Really interesting stuff. Another tool in the toolbox, as mentioned by the Sergeant. BT back right after this.
Dry cleaning services for BT provided by the Press Gallery. Love your drapery. The Press Gallery is your one-stop shop for all your window treatment care.